So I'm going to fill in what I have. I have that 6 squared is equal to b squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times b times 10 cosine 30. Okay, now this looks complicated, right? Does anybody want to solve this by hand? Does anyone want to solve this? I'm going to assume no. So we're going to solve by graphing. So we're going to take this and put it in y1. And then we're going to take this side and we're going to stick it in y2. And we're going to solve by graphing. We're going to look for that intersection. Okay. So when I set this up, I'm going to go ahead and stick it in my calculator so you guys can see. Oh, let me open this a little. Oh, it's too much. Well, it'll be fun for the calculator. Oh, but you guys probably are still copying it now. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna clear out what I already had in here. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in and then I'll show you where. What I'm gonna need to make sure my mode is in degree. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten what we have so far copied down. Oh, and it's, all right, here we go. So you're gonna stick this in your calculator. So your b is gonna be replaced by an x. So I have my 6 squared in y1. And then I have, man, my document camera is being so slow. It's like totally frozen. Okay, there we go. So my blinds are, this is ridiculous. Okay, maybe. Oh my goodness, document camera, come on. It's literally just not going to do anything for me. Okay, I'm just going to turn the brightness up. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Nope. Sort of. Okay, so this is insane. I hate this so much. I wish we were in school. I think it's good that we're out, but I miss teaching in a classroom. Okay, so we have 6 squared in y1, and we have the other part of the equation in y2. I know it's like impossible to see basically on my screen. But you're going to stick that in and you're going to click graph. I'm going to have to fix my window because it's like really off from some stuff I was doing with my seniors. Okay. Gonna be too small. Yep. So I want my X max to be like 15. Maybe this needs to be like 50. Okay. There we go. So there's our first one, and there's our second one. So we have a quadratic intersecting with our line, okay? So I'm gonna draw this graph out. Whenever you solve on a graphing calculator, try to practice. Of course, now the little lamp comes Try to practice like drawing out what you got on your graph. Okay, so we have our line, this was our 36. We have our parabola, and we have 2 points where they intersect. Our first one is when B is 5.34, and our second one is when B is 11.98. Hopefully you guys know how to find those intersections. Do you guys have questions about that at all? Okay, so you're going to solve, when you're solving by graphing, okay, your steps are going to be to first, like, figure out your equation. Set that up. Second step is to sketch the graph that you got. Okay, and step 3 is going to be to label intersections. So when you guys are solving by graphing, those are the 3 things you have to have. Okay, you have to have your equation set up, and I have to see what you picked as y1 and y2. You have to have your sketch, and you have to label your intersections. And let's see. Hold on. Second 5, nope. Second 5, nope. There's some shortcut that I have written down. And I don't know what it does. Oops, that's why. Second, where's trace? Oh, nope. There, second trace 5. Yeah, so if you don't know how to find the intersections, these are the steps. So to find intersections, you're gonna do second trace 5, and then click enter, enter, enter. Just be careful when you click enter, enter, enter. It's basically asking for your first curve, your second curve, and then to get close to the intersection. So when you're finding the second intersection, before you click the third enter, you just need to get closer to the intersection so it knows which one you're talking about. Okay, so to recap, first, okay, let me turn this brightness down. Super duper bright now. Okay, so to recap, let me move this little thing out of the way. We were looking for, we're solving basically both triangles. So the thing we didn't have was C1 or C2. So the first thing we did was solve for the acute angle C2 by using the sine rule. Then we used the fact that C1 and C2 are supplementary to find C1. Then to find my B side, I had to set up the cosine rule, create an equation where B was the variable, the little b, stick it in my graph as y1 and y2, sketch it out, and use my calculator to find my intersections so I can find my little b, okay? So we're not quite done yet, but what questions do you have so far? We've kind of done a lot. Okay. So we're going to finish up by actually solving triangle 1 and triangle 2. If my document camera will keep up. There we go. Maybe. Okay, so I have triangle 1 and triangle 2. So in triangle 1, I had this-ish. And this was my pink triangle. Okay. And I had A, B, and C1. I have 10, angle A is 30 degrees. 6 over here, my little B1. My C1 was 123.6. Okay. I can solve for B. And we're going to call this B1 since there are two different possibilities for B. I'm going to turn this lamp off because I feel like it's washing out the paper. There we go. So we have B1 is going to be 180 minus my 30 plus 123.6. So I'm just subtracting those two other angles. And I should get the angle B1 is 26.4 degrees. Okay. And then I can solve for side B1 by doing 6 over sine 30 equals B1 over the sine of 26.4. And I get that little B1 is 5.34 centimeters, which is what I got up here. So we know that that is the B1 that corresponds to our function. Okay, so we could have really honestly skipped this step and identified that our B1 was here from above. But if you want to solve it algebraically instead of using a calculator, you can do it that way as well. And then triangle 2. Ooh, I did a bad job sketching triangle 2, I'm sorry. A, this is B2, C2. A is 30 degrees. C2 was 56.4 degrees. We have 10. We have little b2 over here. This is 6. Okay, we can solve again for angle b2, just like before, by taking 180 and subtracting 30 and 56.4, my other two angles. And I should get the angle b2 is equal to 93.6. And then I can solve for my little b2. I know that it's 11.98, but just to show you. Okay, so my little b2, when I solve, should be 11.97 centimeters. I can say about 12 if I wanted to. Okay, and this was my green triangle. On the top. Okay, and then I could fill in the rest of my labels. So 43.6. This is about 12. Okay, and I have officially solved both of my possible triangle outcomes with my ambiguous case. What questions do you have?
Wait, so what was the point of doing it graphically?
It just depends on what you like.
Okay.
I'm showing you two ways to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this was like, if you like solving it graphically and you want to go ahead and do that, and if you think you can figure out which one it should correspond to, which actually should be pretty easy to do. This angle was 26.4. This angle was 93.6. The bigger side needs to go with the bigger angle. The smaller side needs to go with the smaller angle. You just have to be able to identify which B it is, the bigger or the smaller.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah. And if you don't like graphing, you can do it algebraically using just the bottom of the sheet. Great question. What other questions do you guys have?
Can you move your paper up just a tad?
Absolutely. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
How'd you get the 56.4?